This is going to be pretty sick. So I hope you're going to enjoy this as much as I am. TAiLS versus uThermal. Unfortunately, this isn't a best of 3 yet. It is only a best of 1. So we have a gas first opening coming out from uThermal. Potential for very, very aggressive stuff popping out during this game. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, TAiLS taking both of his gases at just before the minute-and-a-half mark. Will be opening with that gateway into that pocket expansion over there. Nice and safe 2-base opening on Dusk Towers. SCV going to be moving out across the map to scout. This is pretty tense and a really good matchup. I'm very happy I was able to pop into this game. Make sure you go ahead and tell everyone about it as well. Go ahead and spam the stream link on your Twitters, on your Reddits, on your YouTubes, on your MySpace. Make sure I am all 8 of your top 8 spaces. Tell people on LinkedIn for all I care. Do it! But we have a pretty sick matchup. Still not 100% confirmed where TAiLS is actually playing from, but it hardly matters at this stage. SCV will be able to scout everything TAiLS is doing from uThermal's point of view. We'll see the double gas. Didn't spot the cybernetics core, but what kind of Protoss doesn't use a cybernetics core? I suppose it technically could be some sort of proxy, but not when you have a natural expansion up and double gases and at least one gateway in your main base. So uThermal, not particularly concerned. Oh, plus walled ramp. Right. Has uThermal officially changed his name to uThermi, by the way? Because as far as I'm concerned, he'll always be uThermal. So I kind of don't apologize in advance if that's what's happened, but I'm sure I'll find out at some later stage. Anyway, Twilight Council going down with the robotics facility going down first, so they weren't plonked down at the same time like we saw in that last game, and of course this is a very different matchup. And a third CC coming down from uThermal off the back of this as well. So mainly using this extra gas from his opening to tech. You can see he's immediately starting stim on that second barracks, and he's actually focusing really on just keeping that one gas and switching over to minerals, as you can see. So if this was scouted early on by TAiLS, which by the way it was not, it could be construed as a, oh my goodness, I need to defend, this is like a super aggressive strategy to begin with, into, oh, he's actually going 3CC. But since nothing was scouted, there's no real mind games or meta to worry about. I like this engineering bay placement, by the way, because it basically says I have the potential to wall off the bottom of the ramp with 2 more supply depots in case you get adepts into my base. And all Terran players hate adepts with a passion. So that's actually pretty cool. Third Nexus going down now, in addition to Resonating Glaives from the Twilight Council. So TAiLS just going to be using the robotics facility at the moment for a little bit of observer action. That SCV is going to go down, but it will let uThermal know that his opponent is playing relatively defensively. He's got a mothership core at the top of his ramp, doesn't want him to see tech. He's got at least one adept out, and no doubt there'll be a little bit more harassment coming his way very shortly, hence the wall off being absolutely useful here. Now, this debris, by the way, is definitely not destructible. This is like Dustin Browder level 9000 debris, so there's no way anyone's getting through that. I wouldn't even worry about it. Look, you see these impact craters? These are from, like, behemoth siege tanks trying to get through here, and they couldn't, okay? So just don't even try. Whatever. Right, so +1 attack from that engineering bay. You can already see one supply depot going down. I would not be surprised if a second one goes down here as well. Starport and another barracks going down. So really late on getting the starport here, but that's because he wanted to get his economy up. He's actually up to 44 SCVs versus 47 probes. And bear in mind, his third base is not even at a mineral patch yet, and this is at the 5-minute mark of the game. So both players going to be getting their thirds up now. This Marine going to be doing the night duty, if you will. A little bit unpleasant. We have a warp prism with 4 adepts coming in as well. That's going to be even more unpleasant if it's not scouted. Are we going to see the third base scout this, actually? Okay, no, there's no way the third base is going to see. Oh, he might! He might! Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. There's the warp prism. There are the adepts. Oh, goodness. And that was a mule hammer that just got dropped as well. If the mules actually get targeted down, this will be excellent. And I love how uThermal split his Marines, by the way. Here's half of them going into this base as well. There is a missile turret there. Has TAiLS gone far enough to see the missile turret? He has, so that's what actually made him come back and try to attack the third base. Great play from both players right now. We have another observer moving out towards the left-hand side, basically using there to spot for drops. And this one, this cheeky little guy here, is basically spotting every single unit that pops down the ramp. You have to be a little bit careful, but if you do that, for example, you can actually see it in the shimmer. So that's kind of what uThermal might be looking at here, but he hasn't spotted it just yet. Oh goodness, just target down the War Prism, don't even worry about it. Oh, there we go. Very nicely played. uThermal picks up the War Prism. uThermal, ladies and gentlemen, is looking to win this game and advance into the round of 16. Right, what do we got going next is the question. Where to here for TAiLS? He's got Blink finishing up now. Resonating Glaives is useful. But he hasn't got a massive Adept army or anything like that. uThermal, in the meanwhile, is just patiently going up. Marines, Marauders. He's got +1 armor also being researched here. So potential for 2 upgrade advantage for the Terran player. And I think, yeah, where that was picked up was spotted by TAiLS, but where the medevacs go was not. We have a single Marine. Oh, and once again, this is like that dude that dies first in every Final Destination movie, or like Friday the 13th or something. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? But it looks like the army just about avoids him. Oh, and that would have been a massive tell. Guys, this is a lot of Adepts being warped in right now, and there are 4 medevacs full of units here. I think this might end up being an anti-timing for uThermal. Check out these unburrowed Widow Mines. Oh, good golly gosh. Yes, I've got Liberators, and so the heck what? Right. This could end up costing uThermal the game. He has to go into a base trade scenario. He needs to drop all 4 medevacs and attack right the heck now. Third base immediately flying away. He knows there's no way he can attack this. The 2 Liberators need to focus on defending the top of the ramp. This base will definitely go down. There are a lot of Adepts here being warped in, but they're getting picked off as they get warped in, so they're really just delaying a little bit. And oh dear, here come the Liberators, here come the Stalkers. The SCVs getting pulled to try and kill off as much as they possibly can. The Marines here doing a reasonable amount of DPS, but uThermal, look at this. He's barely making a dent into the main base, and there's a lot of gateways here. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of gateways here. How many are there? There are 10 in total. Right, 2 have just been unpowered, but he's not even inside the main base. And this army is... Oh, but hang on a second. These SCVs are being focused down by the Stalkers, so TAiLS wasn't individually targeting the Marauders, and I actually think uThermal might end up winning this as a result. That could just be like 5 to 10 seconds worth of micro as he's sorting out the warpers in his main base. That could be enough. uThermal might win this game, but it's still very, very close. There are double photon overcharges on these pylons. We need to be careful, and that could actually give TAiLS enough time to warp in enough units to actually defend this. This is really, really tense here, but uThermal has actually thwarted the third base shenanigans. He should go ahead and land that orbital command once again and see if he can... Oh, well. Useless Warp Prism is useless. This army is getting very, very low. The probes are being pulled as well. The photon overcharges are no longer exist. All of these probes are going down. The medevacs are out of energy, though, so they're not going to be able to constantly... It's basically 2 Stalkers. This army is 2 Stalkers right now, and uThermal is going to have to pull back. This is insane. What looked like a surely won fight for TAiLS. With the micro up top, unfortunately, wasn't able to pick off the Marines and Marauders here first. So uThermal's SCVs did their job by sacrificing their lives there, and he managed to take that out. And then all of a sudden, at the other side of the map, TAiLS was in deep, deep trouble. So now, once again, we have a stupidly tense game. It is 60 supply versus 46 right now in favor of our Terran player. 21 workers versus 25. It is anybody's game. And, oh, good golly gosh, I have no idea what's going to happen now. TAiLS is on 2 bases, uThermal is on 3. He'll have triple mules and triple SCV production. It would take a fool not to give the Terran player an advantage in this situation. TAiLS is now moving forward with a heck of a lot of sentries. Don't forget, guys, this is pretty darn dangerous. He's got, how many gateways? He's still got 8 gateways available off of 2 bases, but look at how much that's been mined. Look at how much this has been mined. Look at how there isn't a nexus here. This is basically a final all-in push from TAiLS. This is straight up. If uThermal is able to defend against this, he wins the game. He's 1-1 upgrades versus 0-0 upgrades. TAiLS is doing nothing but stocking up money for a final push. There's a scan that kills off the Observer. The Widow Mine is therefore going to be able to do its work. Is there another Observer on the map? There are actually 4. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep, that'll do it. Here come the Shades from the Adepts. Is he really going to go in there? He's not. Okay, cool. 3 more Widow Mines going down. An Observer will at least see all 3 of them. But this is pretty tense. TAiLS has to make his move soon. 2-2 is halfway done now. And a Liberator killing off, I think almost killing off a Stalker, rather, at the beginning of that engagement already. Another scan takes out the Observer, and the longer TAiLS, wait, the worse this fight is going to get. More and more units being produced now. You can see, look, 2 Liberators at a time, 2 more Marines. 2-2 is now halfway done. What is TAiLS going to do? He has to make this work. He's loading up into a Warp Prism. He's thinking about going into the main base. uThermal sees it. He has a small army ready to take this out. And here we go. Adept's going straight into the main base. He's going to bypass the Liberators entirely. Oh, a great force field actually from TAiLS means that he might be able to take this engagement. That was absolutely inspired. We need to be lifting units into medevacs and dropping them to the top. And we need to do that right the heck now. There we go. uThermal lifting into the medevacs. There he goes. The opposite side to where the Stalkers are. He's dropping back down. Are there any more units down here? It's just 3 sentries. So, well, frankly, force fields are actually pretty good. But as far as DPS goes, that's a little bit inconsequential at the moment. uThermal now stimming in. He needs to kill this. He needs to kill it quickly, but that's a pretty big Protoss army coming up. The rest of the Marines are joining up with the rest of the army. The Liberator's doing absolutely nothing in the meantime. TAiLS now retreating to the edge of the base. uThermal's going to go all in here. GG! And AT Gaming's uThermal, ladies and gentlemen, beats TAiLS in a best-of-1, an incredibly tense game on Dusk Towers, and he moves on to the round of 16 in today's Go4SC2 Cup.